Eddie Hearn tries to justify Jaron Boots Ennis and his next opponent by saying something we've heard before. In this video, your boy Ego will break it down and give you my opinion why it really doesn't matter. So, should be a good video. What up, Fight World? It's your boy Ego, and I'm back with some more boxing, right? So, now we're getting conflicting things, and I will go over it with you guys in this video. Eddie Hearn is doing what a promoter does, which is to try to sell a product, even if it's a bad product, right? And I'm going to jump straight into the content, and this is why we taking no prisoners in 2025. If it don't make sense, we got to call it out. No more, no less. So jumping right into the content, you see top stories. Jaron Ennis claims that LIMA was the last resort for the 154-pound debut, right? So on one hand, you got Boots, who's saying that this was the last resort. We had to fight this guy. But then Eddie Hearn is trying to speak to the conversations and the backlash from boxing fans and justify. In a brand new interview, Eddie Hearn was basically saying, oh, yeah, this guy's good. He's been on the road. He's been winning some fights. And LIMA, he's hungry. And he's rated top 10 in 3 of the sanctioning bodies out of 4. Man, stop it, bro. These promoters have you bamboozled. You've been led astray. These promoters are running amok. It is the same game over and over again. Let me explain. The fans are speaking out. Content creators such as myself are speaking out like, yo, you have a promising fighter with a lot of talent, Jaron Boots Ennis. When are we going to get to see him fight one of the other promising fighters and big names that would solidify how good he is or how good he can be? And then you have his promoter, who Jaron Ennis re-upped with and extended his pact with Eddie Hearn. That means you like the job he's doing for you. So the problem is this falls on Eddie Hearn and Jaron Ennis. On one hand, Jaron is saying, we had to fight this guy. Why? Why did you have to fight this one particular fighter, right? It's your first fight in a new division, so you're clearly not a champion. He's not a champion. So why did you have to fight this guy, right? And we heard rumblings and inklings that there were other guys who were reached out to. Guys like Ramos. Even though Jesus Ramos, I made a video about it, came out and exposed Eddie Hearn and Jaron Ennis and said, they didn't send me an offer. They sent my uncle, Abel, who is a welterweight, the division that Jaron Ennis is leaving. They sent him an offer, and it was a BS offer. That's one. You had Josh Kelly, who said him and his team, Adam, they said, his manager and trainer, we would love to fight Boots, but not for peanuts. You lowballed us and then said 24 hours, take it or leave it. What type of business is this, right? This is what Eddie Hearn does. It's like the same play for Brian Norman. Like, as if Boots is this huge Gervonta Davis, Canelo Alvarez face of boxing character where he should be sending out a bunch of take it or leave it and ultimatums. And then at 147, you at least have a little bit more of a leg to stand on because Boots was a champion. Even though people were like, oh, email champion, and he got elevated and then he unified. So that he took the belt from a champion. That was good against Stanionis. So you at least had that. You had a little bit of wiggle room at 47. But Boots already announced that he's moving up in weight and he's moving to 154. So all that I'm a champion, all that's out the window now. You're in a new division. The reset button has been hit. And this fight sucks. I don't care what none of y'all talking about. Nobody asked for this fight. This dude already lost to somebody lesser than the perception of Jaron Ennis. Jaron Ennis, what does it say? He got almost 40 fights with no marquee names. We know he's good. It's just at this point a matter of how good is he, and fighting the likes of Usima Lima, 14-1. Like, this dude has 15 fights, bro. And Eddie Hearn is really trying to justify it because he's ranked in the top 10. Unacceptable. Here's another reason why it's unacceptable. Because rankings are BS. If you know the right people, if you're in good with the right sanctioning bodies, you could get guys ranked. Say, hey, we're interested in making this fight. Can you rank this guy? Blah, blah, blah. There's a lot of like palm greasing and, political things that go on behind the scenes that have different guys ranked. So don't tell me about who's a champion or who's ranked, because none of that really matters anymore. There's multiple ways that fighters could become a champions, and secondary belts, and certain people get to cut in line, all types of politics. We know this. Don't play dumb, right? I remember when Tyson Fury, the world wanted him to fight Deontay Wilder in a second fight. Tyson Fury instead signed the top rank in ESPN and ran from the immediate Deontay Wilder immediate fight, right? And what he decided to do was sign the top rank in ESPN, and then he fought Tom Schwartz. And people were like, what? I thought you was fighting Wilder. And who's this Tom Schwartz guy? Tom Schwarzenegger. Yeah, what are you doing? Yeah, get to the chopper now. You know what I mean? Like, who is Tom Schwartz from Germany? And that's the same play that Eddie Hearn is trying to do now that they ran back then for Tyson Fury. Instead of fighting a name we want to see Tyson Fury fight, like Deontay the Bronze Bomber Wilder from, oh my God, Tuscaloosa, Alabama, to this day, right? Instead of fighting that, they had him fighting Tom Schwartz, and they say, oh, he's ranked in 2 of the sanctioning bodies. Bro, it's the oldest trick in the book. Not impressed. Nobody asked for this fight. I don't care. You could save your rankings. The rankings don't really put Boots in. It's not going to make him a pay-per-view star, right? And Turkey already exposed Boots too. He says, I'm not here for charity. I'm not giving out free bags. You know what I mean? You got to fight good competition that me or I feel like the public want to see you fight to get in on this Riyadh season money. And Boots, he's taking a tune-up. It's definitely a tune-up. You want to see how you feel at 54. And Eddie Hearn, you re-signed, he re-signed the man. And this is the best you can get. This is, like, honestly, this is the best you could give him. A tragedy. Because I do think that Jaron Ennis is talented, but at the same time, these just aren't compelling fights that people are asking for. That's why people are asking the question, why did Boots re-sign? You've been better off with PBC or Turkey or something instead of fighting these type of fights. And then the best you could do to try to become America's star is have Eddie Hearn try to amp this dude up, talking about he's on a win streak and he's ranked in the top 10. Subscribe.